I'll tell you, in my family, my parents would be mortified if they heard me here talking today about this story, because they never talked about it. So why am I talking about it? Why would I talk about it? Why would the popular, even into the 1960s in Lucan, the barber would say, there's three things you never talk about: religion and politics and the Donnellys, right? Like, because you just didn't talk about it. But there was enough going on, and one of the people I give credit to is this Ray Fazekas that has written 2 books. Very, very detailed, and very, very, as close to truth as you can get. I oscillate between 65 and 80%, maybe, right? But just as truth. But anyway, so a lot of people get talking about it. And the one thing that, as being an ancestor, and by the way, one of the 6, I will come clean, one of the 6 that were put in jail for a year was my great-grandfather's brother. So it's a story that's near and dear to my heart. But I'm a little bit guarded about when I hear people telling the story, which is nowhere near the facts. There's nothing else. So I was a reeve of the community for time, and I was a mayor when we opened the museum for a number of years. So I was involved, and I was supportive. I started to talk about it a bit because I felt the story's going to be told. I mean, by the time 1860, 1870, 1880 got around, there was a lot of plays, a lot of talk about it. Every anniversary is a big story, sometimes even in the Toronto Star, right? So I thought it would be important for us to tell the story here in Lucan, and we could tell it with some sensitivity, hopefully in honesty, and what the story was really about, and not only the bad things about the Donnellys, but the good things about the Donnellys. I mean, they're good entrepreneurs and stuff like that, and about the community, and put it in the context of 1850 to 1880, so we could tell it with sensitivity. And I don't want to really sensationalize it, but I thought we should tell the story, and that's a better way to heal the community. There's not many of the families left here that was involved in the story, but there's still probably a dozen or so or whatever of those existing families from that era, maybe even 15 or so. But I think it was mainly motivated by the fact, I mean, there's some people would have been motivated by, let's capitalize on this, to sensationalize it, make some money for the community. That was certainly not my motivation, although, I mean, if you're going to have it in London, why not have it in the community? We tell the story, right? Because at one time they were talking about putting the museum in London when I was actually the mayor and reeve or that type of thing. So why not have it here? We can talk about it. And so there's some spin-off value, but like all museums, they're not money makers anyway. So not in Canada anyway. It's not like Billy the Kid in the States or whoever like that they sensationalize. So I think it was us willing to admit that it is part of our history. It should be put in the context of such and such. It's certainly an event that we should never be proud of. And like I said, even my ancestor, if he was involved, he should have paid the price. There's no doubt about it. But let's acknowledge it. Let's tell the story what it was, and then let's move on. I mean, this is a great community to live in. It's a great place to bring up children. I mean, it's a great legacy for us. So that our ancestors have left us. Unfortunately, there's this not very good thing that we have to acknowledge happened, and we have to continue to move on. And I'm happy that the museum, I think, portrays the story relatively fair of what happened and what transpired. They created a great community for us. So, I mean, setting that one issue aside, I think Lucan is a great place to live, a great place to do business, great place to call home, and all that type of thing. And so they certainly achieved what they set out to do, albeit with this one issue. But no, I think we got a great community here, and I do want to congratulate the Heritage Group and the people that put this museum together, because I think it's an asset to our community, and we are telling our story.